Okay, fantastic. Dim lighting. Just to make this video seem creepy, which is an incorrect setting for the topic. The topic being, what is it like being transgender in America? I'm in a northern state. I'm in Minnesota. The main state that I grew up in, and that's what I'll be talking about as a setting. You know, this, dark lighting makes me look more tired than I am. See that, this eye looks like it has a dark circle. What the fuck? Okay. What the hell? Okay, so, first of all, I can only really tell my story and, maybe I'll end up mentioning things from, other people I know. But I can only speak for myself, and I had a gender therapist. She was, one of the best in the country. One of the top gender therapists in the country. And she said that my gender dysphoria was, worse than most people's. Or it was, horrific. That was when I was a teenager. So I guess I could just try to tell as much as I can about how being transgender affected my life. Try to keep a straight timeline and stuff, hopefully. So what is it like being transgender? Not choosing to be transgender because you don't choose to have dysphoria. And dysphoria, to me and a lot of people, it just naturally occurs to you. And the more you, deal with it and figure it out and try to, tackle it while it happens to you, things just it rolls like that. It's really not a choice. And I think, for a lot of people, they'll either have huge signs during puberty, or that's when they'll be able to figure out that they're transgender. A lot of people, especially in the past, though, they'll do things like present according to the opposite sex that they really are. And they might get in trouble, especially in the past, though. So for everybody, it doesn't work the same. Whenever you're able to fully figure stuff out for yourself and feel safe to do so. That's what I think. Or no. But, I want to try to not even, mention stuff that I mention in other videos unless it's really important. When I started puberty, I already really talked about that in a different video. But the signs were definitely there, bro. I would just, it tied into, it tied more into, self-identity than it did sexuality. Sexuality came into play later, mostly. It's kind of a side thing to it. Just if you're born a specific gender, it isn't the only thing that defines you. There's a time in your life when you're a child where you don't have sexual attraction. So what the fuck? And are boys and girls different? Well, they're still too adolescent for that. Yes. So is that the only thing that makes us male or female? No. Bruh. So, for me, it was struggling with self-identity, it was struggling with body image, and not in the normal way, because it was a really chubby kid. I was 160 something pounds at my worst, and I'm 5'2", as I have been since 4th or 5th grade. Don't start laughing because I'm a guy. There's other guys that are that short. There's guys that are shorter than that. So whatever. I have other qualities that are better than a lot of tall guys get to have. I'm better looking than a lot of tall guys. And I'm nicer. So whatever, fair trade. Everybody has to have a flaw. I'm short, whatever. I don't let it negatively impact anything else, though. And I try to allow it to be what it is and not let it be more negative than it has to be. Because honestly, you know, is it really that bad to be short as a guy? How much does it really affect? Because for me, it never really affected how much chicks dig me. Like, I don't think it really matters that much, so I don't have a problem with it personally. Some people even thinking that I might grow up to be a girl would laugh at me. Like, there's no fucking way anybody's gonna take you serious. Like, if I grew up to be like this short as a female. On the contrary, but whatever. I'm secure enough. I'll date a chick that's fucking 5'9". I don't give a shit, bro. Rigby's short and regularly so. Okay, whatever. I'm done with that. I'm done. If you're a short guy, just make yourself the best version of you possible, because it's definitely not the end of the world. Let your flaws be. Let your flaws be. You know what could be worse? You could be evil. You could, like, catch yourself in a position where you have no conscience and you, like, hurt children. You don't want to be that person. I'd rather be short. The fuck you talking about? Some chicks dig that. The fuck is you talking about? So yeah. I mean, I see a lot of stuff on the internet that made me question, like, should I be insecure about that? It made me feel like that was one of the things put in my head, like, you can't be transgender, you can't be a guy because you're so small. Like, says fucking who? You white bitches? Bunch of fucking white kids. Because I'm Mexican and Asian. A lot of my people are born male and they're my height. So, way to be really offensive. You know, there ain't nothing fucking wrong with us. Ain't nothing fucking wrong with us. Ain't nothing wrong with nobody that's short. Just like there's nothing wrong with tall girls. That's sexy as hell. I'm sure some girls have to feel that way about short guys. So this turned into short guy positivity, because all I see online is like guys being like, I should feel bad about myself. I'm so short. No, I don't feel bad. There's gonna be tons of chicks that probably dig that. I don't know for sure, because I'm not, I'm not a chick, nor, I don't know. But, like, if there's guys like me who like tall girls, like, what the fuck? Like, I can't be wrong. It has to be. There has to be a 10 out of 10 that would be happy with a short guy. Just know that. What the fuck? It's not as big of a deal as, especially tall guys make it out to be. Because they need a lot of people need to feel special. They need to feel like there's something good enough about themselves. I'm good enough to get something that I want in this world. They need to tell themselves that. And a lot of people that are insecure and really can't convince themselves, they have to put other people down. Oh, I figured it out. I am that great. I'm as great as I want to be because I'm tall. So short people, you should kill your KYS. Like, what the fuck, dude? So that's really how I feel like that shit started, because I don't think females have a problem with it. It's always guys that want to put each other down for shit that's why I say I care more about what chicks think. You know, would a good female that I could end up happy with rather be with somebody that's short or somebody who hurts other people? Fuck it, I'd rather be short. So she'd rather be with me than the people that hate on me for being short as a guy. End of, bro. But anyway, I literally forgot what the point of this video was at this point. Oh yeah, being transgender in America. A lot of trans guys are gonna be affected by stuff like that. So you gotta learn to curb that with mentalities that defeat that, bro. that defeat the negativity thrown our way. Being transgender means that you're going to come with flaws in regards to the sex that you have to live as, because that's really what you are when you find out that you're transgender. For me, it's being short and tiny. But look at realistically. It's not even a flaw at the end of the day. Just because people want to say that it's a flaw doesn't mean it is one. Damn. So anyway, I had to solve problems like that in my head a lot throughout my life. Because being transgender, it can be hard on you like that. My eyes just look weird as shit. Like, I close and open my eyes more than, like, depending on, like, how much light is in them. But I don't know what the fuck is going on tonight. That's really weird. Anyway. So, I mean, just going over, like, briefly is what I'm gonna try to do, like, how I developed as a transgender kid. Found out, like, that's what was going on for me in my journey of discovering that. You know, so I got into, like, the LGBTQ community online, and, like, trying to, like, research into that, like, naturally, because when you try to figure out, like, problems you're having and stuff, and you search it up, LGBTQ stuff is gonna come up if that is your problem, which was the case for me, so then I just naturally got into it. And, where was I going with that? I mean, it was helpful, obviously. There was also a lot of stuff that was misleading at the time, you know? But it's just, like, the weirdest thing. It's, like, when it comes to being transgender, it's not really about, interestingly, to, like, the people who aren't transgender, it's not really about changing yourself. It's more about having to, like, over and over again in your journey of self-discovery in your life, accept things about yourself that are not in your control. Like, I can glorify being a female, and I couldn't really want to do that, but if I'm accepting me for who I am, like, I just realize over and over again, okay, I'm a guy on the inside. And also I present as one on the outside. So, what the fuck? But, I have something to say in between that and what I'm gonna say, which is kind of fucked, because it was even better than what I'm gonna just say, but, like, anyway, I guess I'm just gonna skip over an important part of everything I'm talking about. Like, you know, yeah, people, oh, I remember, people weren't happy about what was going on with me in terms of coming to terms with myself being transgender, and me trying to, like, look into things in the community to help me figure that out fully and be sure about it. So, you know, I would try different things, like presenting more masculine, saying it's just maybe a problem where I like girls to people, even though I knew that I like guys. I had already gone over this issue I mentioned in a different video for a while, where I'd already been going through puberty, and when I imagined guys, I would usually imagine myself as a guy too. Even just expressing myself as a guy. Like, so I'd have, like, gay fantasies, basically. And that started before I ever even knew what transgender was. I kind of had to look into problems I was having in order to figure out what transgender was. So that sucked. And it would lead me to delusional places in those younger stages when I was like 9, 10 years old, though. I would have kind of delusions, to be honest with you. Yeah, like, I would be in so much distress about what was going on with my body. I would try to convince myself that I was intersex because I was looking up, what the fuck could possibly be wrong with me. And naturally, one of the things I came across was like intersex people who were born with both genitals and stuff like that. Like when you're born as both, I was like, I at least have to be that. I was in so much distress. I would just sit and think alone in my room doing like research on things on my phone and stuff and I would be in a fucking mess mentally, and I would just be trying to convince myself like somehow in my mind like I was trying to tell myself that I was born intersex. And I would like feel myself up down there and like try to like feel like if there's any like defects to try to like figure out if I could be more like a guy down there. It was fucking insane. So it became like delusion from how much distress I was in trying to convince myself like this is not what it seems. I am not straight up in a chick body right now with this happening. So it was really distressing. And then it was about like identity and just how you interact with people and how you express yourself. That can be a lot about gender also though. But I mean, people were noticing this, and people like my grandma, my mom, my big sister, everybody was giving me shit or even like being like threatening, screaming at me, trying to hit me. Cause I did have to go through a phase where I didn't want to fully let go all the benefits and stuff of being a girl, so I wanted to say that I was like agender or something. And all types of stuff. But people would have reactions to stuff like that. And I was told stuff like, you can be anything but a boy. You can't be a guy. You can't be transgender. So I would, I would sit in bed in huge denial about the whole thing. That's just a lot for like an 11, 12-year-old to deal with. It's so distressing. Well, I would sit in bed and I would be like, I do not feel like a girl. Like in my head at night, the thoughts I would go over, I'd be like, I don't feel like a girl. I don't feel like a girl. But I can't be a guy. Because that's just the stuff I was told. And I would also, in my mind, kind of be like, I don't feel like any of these genders that I'm looking at, really. I don't, and I would try to piece it together and go through different things and, like, put it on me and be like, this is what I am. Trial and error. Nope, no, it isn't. So I would cry, like, when it just really fucking hurts and you're, like, holding your breath to, like, be quiet while you're just sobbing. Yeah. That bad. That fucking bad. And actually, there was one of my big sister's friends I met who was LGBT. And I think meeting somebody, like, in person that was super cool and knew how to rock it, really convinced me. And it was also, like, he liked guys. And I had a little bit of a crush on him. So, it was just kind of a nice push. And I was in that place where it was like, I tried to come out as transgender regardless of, even my big sister, like I said, like, she just did not want to accept that I wasn't a girl no matter what I was trying to do. So that sucked. But, I mean, that friend was super helpful though. So I came out. And I don't know if this was before or after, but she also had a friend that was also transgender. That was, like, born a female. And what the fuck? I tried to date her, but she was not in the best place, I think. Or he, I don't know, current day, to be honest. Because she, the last I heard was that she, like, detransitioned. But she could have also retransitioned. I haven't heard things in years, so I honestly don't know. Like, so sorry. I honestly don't know. This is somebody that this is one of those situations, if anybody else can relate, where I kind of grew attached and, like, felt like I wanted to be with somebody because I was worried about them. If that makes sense. Like, oh, like, I want to have a way to, like, be close to you so that I can protect you. Do you see how, like, wrong that hair is, right? That's some Kim Jong-un shit. That's just cut like a bowl cut right there. That's way uneven. That is not okay. Okay, anyway. Yeah, so the importance of community and having each other within the LGBTQ community and getting access to meet people and have friends that are like you or just also a part of the community is super important, especially for your own development as a person. If you happen to be born as one of us, like, what the fuck is that? Are you serious? Like, are you serious? Do you guys see my hair? Look at it on the side. You fucking serious? Are you fucking serious? That is so bad. Oh, no, it's fine. Alright, I guess I'm just gonna keep it pushed back. Anyway. Yeah, a lot of people, like, my whole family, I mean, I was being abused really bad. I was being treated really bad by everybody around me. And being transgender was kind of like everybody's free ticket to, like, let us attack this kid. This is a good reason we can give this child hell. So that's what everybody, including peers and people my age, did. Why do I want to say lucky for me? Like, a voice in my head, like, my voice in my head was just like, lucky for me. Well, that's fucking sucks. But I had to fend for myself, so I dug into somebody's fucking it might have been my grandma Cindy's just bathroom cabinet situation or something. I managed to get, like, some ace bandages. I think it literally was at my grandma Cindy's house. I managed to get some ace bandages, and those bitches will last years. So if you know, you know. Those bitches will last years. Bro, I would go months without doing anything to try to wash them too. And, like, I would be couch hopping and stuff all through middle school, which is fucked. And I think being transgender played in a big part into, like, why that was the case and how that negatively affected, like, relationships with family members. You know, nobody fucking wanted me. I was already kind of, like, always told, like, nobody wants you, you know, like, I'm not white, so people had problems with that. You know, I was a responsibility in general because I was a kid. I wouldn't tolerate being mistreated, so people that didn't treat me as good as you should treat a kid. This is all types of bullshit. There's all types of bullshit. People wanted me around when it benefited them, but at the point when I was, like, clearly steadily going as a transgender kid, yeah, people, I lost a lot of people in different ways too, but my dad did see that, and he just, you know, I think he wanted what was best for me, and he knew what he couldn't control, but he also did take advantage of it. Like, oh, I'm gonna be the only person who's gonna be cool with this. But in return, there's consequences for you and you being tricked into favoring me. So I got placed into some pretty bad positions in life because of him and my relationship with him based off of that too. So yeah, people that are already kind of shitty family, they will become way more abusive basically to a kid that's transgender if they don't like it, and most people don't, especially when it's their own kid in their family that's younger than them. It's a big opportunity to just feel justified in your hateful mind to hurt somebody or to hate them or to feel like they're not good enough and to want to tell people about that in tons of different ways. It's just awful. This kid is the kid that's a defect. This kid is the kid with issues. All the other issues are magnified because somehow being transgender it automatically makes you lesser to a lot of people. So, yeah. And I think the qualities that you kind of gain in the thought processes and stuff and ideals that you kind of have to take in and form a habit of having, like, that are caused by having to accept yourself as somebody who's LGBTQ. It makes you a certain type of person that's vulnerable to a lot. And that just is put in the situations I'm talking about, I guess. I'm just kind of tired. But yeah, I mean, back to what I was saying, like, I was couch hopping, like, because I was so uncomfortable with things, and I wanted people to respect me for who I was and give me that self-esteem and reassurance. And I would work really hard at that with lack thereof anyway, but, like, if I was in a situation where I think, oh, somebody could end up walking in this room, I'm sleeping on a couch, I'm sleeping in somebody's bedroom, regardless, I mean, I would usually keep the fucking ace bandages on, like, at night while I slept, and just went about, like, I would never take them off. So, yeah, there are negative health consequences to it. When I, like, take my shirt off, like, my rib cage is not even on both sides. Like, it looks different on each side. And it's kind of partially, I always have my body, like, turned, actually. It fucked up my posture. The way that I would put it on, it, like, did something, to my back, to my shoulder blade or something. So I always have, like, one shoulder out more than the other. It really sucks. I mean, it also makes you hunch over, which is ugly. Because it's just a lot of pressure on your back. And guess what? I'm still doing it to this day. Guess what I have on right now? Because I don't have a mailing address. I also don't really want to, I don't know. If I had the money to spend on it, I would. But it's like, there's other basic needs I want to meet. And things that are, like, more in my present reality. To be honest, I'm just settling for an ace bandage because it's easy. But, at the same time, I'm like, how much of it is it a choice? If it was easily accessible, obviously I would have a binder on instead. But I don't. Anyway. Yeah, but I'm crazy though, like, back in the day, like, for all the years straight that I would wear a ace bandage like that, and yeah, nobody cared about me enough, and I asked everybody around me, Everybody I would stay with at their houses, my grandparents, my dad, for years. I would ask everybody that could possibly have the opportunity to be able to get me a binder. And it was always an excuse or no. So yeah, nobody cares about transgender kids. They all knew I was using an ace bandage like that. They didn't give a fuck. There are some people who it's kind of excusable. There are some people that I knew that they were adults and I was a kid, but I hung out with them. They had a friend who used an ace bandage. Like, yeah, you can use that shit. Like, this is kind of culture for transgender people in a way. They just taught me how to use it right in different ways that are, like, safer, quote unquote. And yeah, I would try, like, every fucking tactic I could, especially because it slips up during the day at school. It's already 30 minutes, bruh. Yeah, so I'm gonna try to, like, explain this shit fast, because I'm fucking not even trying to do all that. I would get bullied a lot in school. This is where it gets tricky. I would get bullied so much in school, my ace bandage would come apart. Or some days I felt so sick after doing all that bullshit, I would let it be a little bit loose. And I would just get made fun of so bad. I would leave school, like, sobbing. And people would point out things like, you might not always have, like, perfect posture. You're not gonna move the same. And then people can notice that you don't really have a guy parts down there because of that. It's equally helpful, but it also made me feel so bad when people my age in middle school wanted to, like, it gets to a point where people are literally, like, pushing you and kicking you. Like, physically being violent towards you for stuff you can't help. And taking opportunities when you try to use the bathroom that you feel more comfortable using to do some pretty horrible things to you while I was trying to present as male. Well, eventually, like, the school people, they gave me they had, like, a gender neutral bathroom by the gym. So one time a kid named Jonah literally followed me in there and he sexually assaulted me. So it's shit like that happens to a transgender kid. It's honestly, what's worse is it how the kids treat you or the adults, I was just put in such a fucked up position. I was, like, pushed into a corner in my life coming into, like, 8th grade, where it was like all the adults just fucked shit up so much. And a lot of it was because I was transgender, to the point where I was just being traumatized to hell. And then, I'd go to school, and then shit like that would happen to me with certain kids. Like, every day, bro. So, if you, like, dysphoria is painful enough. As I described, like, earlier in the video, like, what it's like to go through it is such an emotionally upsetting situation to be in. It's way too much to handle when you're young. It's extremely painful. It's emotionally so painful. So it's a disorder because something's not right, because it is excruciating. But then you get met with the type of treatment I'm trying to describe from other people, and just how it will just kind of put a damper on your life. Like, I had to walk all the way across the school to where the gym was to use the bathroom, and it was embarrassing. And it's embarrassing that it has to be a topic of conversation, and now the girls think I'm weird and they don't want to date me, probably. In my head, they did. Anyway, a lot of them fucking did. Regardless, so that was cool. Because girls are sweeter than guys. That's why I care more about what chicks think. Because there was no girls fucking hitting and kicking me and shit because I'm transgender. No, they wanted to do the opposite. They're awesome. I love chicks. Fuck guys sometimes. But when you're a good one, you're a good one. So shout out homies. But yeah. But, it gets worse. gets to the point where people hated me so much because I took good care of myself and I had a lot of self-love and I would openly talk about it. And I was really secure and I was doing good when it comes to being transgender. I knew myself well enough to know when somebody was faking being transgender. Because if anybody's going to be able to point that out, it is somebody that's actually transgender. Well, anyway, I mean, people hated me so much and they were so disturbed and disgusted by, what I was, and they had so much hate. I talked about it in the last video I uploaded before this, how men can be evil, like when they have issues with not being able to get women, so they just have anger towards like the whole concept of gender and stuff. And I don't know, somehow all of that bullshit was targeted towards the fact that I was transgender. So I got attacked numerous times by people who had issues like that just hated me because of nothing that I did wrong. And basically, I was like attacked so many times physically in like really horrific ways. And people would just constantly tell me and like take things from me like little by little in different events, like, you can't do this, you can't be that, and you like, this is why you're like this, so don't be like that anymore, when they were really just trying to like destroy who I was. And it came to a point where it was like it was like a process of like, you're not really a man, you're gonna look horrible on testosterone, you can't be transgender for all these reasons, transgenderism isn't real, you're gonna make the choice to be a woman. And I was basically met with threats that ultimately led up to like, we're not letting you have a choice in this, like we will come back and find ways to hurt you. So I was left in a position where I was a teenager, completely ripped of everything that I was over time, and it was like, I was to the point where I just didn't leave my room and I kept the blinds shut 24/7. Like, because it's like, when are like the people tormenting me in this way that are about my age, some of them, like, when are they gonna take that opportunity to pull this shit again? Or when are they gonna find something that they don't like that I'm doing, they see me doing it again? Being that we live so, like, in this city, like, the way that it was, like, and I'm going to school off and on and stuff like that throughout time, like, and just stuff I would post online, even, like, all types of shit, things I would text people that I didn't know were, like, relaying things to other people. It was fucking crazy. You just don't like somebody, so you throw physical violence at them and continue to, like, threats, like, oh, we're gonna do this if you do this. It was just a fucking mess. Like, you know who you are type shit, but, like, yeah, one of those main things was that I wasn't allowed to be transgender. Do you know how fucking crazy that is? I'm an American citizen. The fuck is that? But, like, yeah. So that's really heartbreaking, because can you imagine what that's gonna do to somebody who's transgender, who has dysphoria? It's not turning into something emotional, though. Like, I'm just saying. Like, that is living hell. That was living hell. So, I worked my way out of it. I basically, what it took in me was, like, getting to a place where I felt safe and that I don't, like, there's no opportunity for somebody to physically attack me. So, my dad gave me the car that I'm in. He gave me a 2011 Impala, which is so fucking cool. That's why I stood, because it's just such a cool car. that it could bring tears to a man's eyes. And it has many times over. I was when he first showed me it. And I felt so bad that I didn't have an emotional reaction at that time to give him, bro. There was no, like, reaction to hug him. I was just literally in shock. I was like, Dad, no fucking way. So that's why I'm crying right now. I'm crying because the car is so beautiful. But yeah. I got in this car and the girlfriend he has, she did not make me feel safe, to say the least, so I started spending my nights, I would just take some weed and liquor, and I would go sit in his garage in this car, and I would just have it running at night and shit, and I'd just be playing music, and I would just fall asleep in the car, and I would just stay in the car, and I was like, yeah, this is the only place where nobody can put any force on me and make me feel bad, to say the least. So, this is the truest love story. I'm gonna start bawling. It's the greatest love story to ever exist. I love this car so much. It's so cool. Anyway, it's so sweet. This car loves me too, I promise it does. It treats me great, bro. It's a fucking Impala, so you guys know what I mean. She's gonna live forever. It's just for the most part, I can drive away anytime I want to. The cops told me if anything's bad, I can drive away. When I had a permit. When I had a permit. I can lock the doors. I have a machete that has a long history behind it. And it's in perfect position for me to access at any point that I need to. I know the ins and outs of the car. And machete is good enough. I don't remember specifically how bulletproof this car is, but it's better than most. So, I spent a good amount of time in this car. And over time, just working with myself, I finally got myself to a place where I felt safe enough, wow, nobody can fuck with me in this car. So, I was able to get myself to a point where, and even better than before, I worked with a lot of parts of myself that weren't fully healed about it, or still, glorified being a girl and stuff. So I had really a lot of fun in the process of this. But, yeah. Eventually it just happened again where I was like, yeah, I can be okay with this. Is okay, I'm fine now, I'm transgender. Because, like I said, the reason I couldn't, didn't, when, I've gone so many years now trying to, live a lie in that way, because, like I said, I mean, people were constantly fucking with me. So I literally needed to figure out, a place to be that was safe from them, to be able to not get attacked for doing things out of line. In their eyes. Because some people think that they can own other people in different ways like that. Which is funny. White people have had that mentality before in history, and it's just not okay. Say things like that. No, you can't own somebody, you can't control somebody's life, because that makes you the same type of person that Nazis and slave masters were as people. That's what that means. Um, but yeah, now I'm 22 years old and I'm homeless and I'm struggling to get testosterone, even though I already had like a date set on a calendar when I was younger. And I was like not even a month away from being able to get testosterone. And people knew that about me. And that's pretty much around the time people decided to snap on me and tell me I'm not allowed to be transgender. Because in their mind it's a choice. And the choices was making being transgender was wrong. I don't know. Like, that's just pretty much what it was. So, like, what the fuck? You know. But, that's my experience of being transgender in America. That shit could drive you insane, bro. My eye. Yeah, so now I'm 22, living authentically, without testosterone though, because people have controlled my life in a way where it's gotten to this point. I'm trying my best to fight against it, but it's like, damn. It's a struggle, bro. So, I think I'm walking around looking like a teenager. I think everybody probably thinks that I'm a teenager. Oh well. Oh fucking well. Guess what? The real American way is this. It's not gonna matter to me in about 3 more seconds because I'm gonna do something that gives me a quick fix, as in smoking tobacco. That's the only option I have besides just outright suffering. So cheers to that. I guarantee you, if you're watching this, you do the same thing in your own way or ways. We all do it. So my nose looks broken. Is that the shading? I mean, it is broken, but I don't think it's that visible. That sucks. Okay, bye.